Thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. So today I thought I would do a quick fun thing to put in my Christmas altered book junk journal that I talked about in the unboxing for the Grabie holiday box that I received with all the great Christmas and holiday themed items in it. So this is my journal. I made it out of a book. I gutted the book. I did the cover based on a video by Lori Marie Jenkins, gosh, a long time ago, probably about 5 years ago maybe. And it's got embossed pieces, and then they're sewn together on my sewing machine and then covered with some gold paint. I used cardboard on the back, on the spine. And then there's some more of the paper on the back that's all been embossed. So it just makes a real pretty cover. And these pieces I received from my friend that lives in South Australia, Judith. She sent them to me in a Christmas exchange we did a couple years ago. So they're on the front. So it's just basically an altered book junk journal that I document Christmas in each year. So what I do is each year I find a little blank spot. I like to put photos, so this one I printed out a photo of my Christmas tree that year. I journal. This one was 2020, and I put COVID Christmas, and it talked about us not spending Christmas together because of COVID, and we each just Skyped and did our own thing alone at home, which was really kind of sad and lonely. I always do a gifts given and gifts received. I just think that's fun. I know that's not the reason for the season, but it's always fun to look back and see, you know, what gifts did I give my family members and what gifts they gave me. It's just kind of fun. So things like that. But I always open to a little spot in it. This last year, my friend Mimi and my mom and I Skyped together and did a Christmas watercolor. I made it a tip out and journaled on it for last year. I put this is Paulina Poinsettia. This is one of my fold-up paper doll flower pot girls, but she's a Christmas theme, and she went in there because that was when I made her. And that's what I do. So I've got papers in here and tags and envelopes and things. And I randomly find a spot. They're not in order because I don't feel like they have to be. And I just find a spot and I start working in it and make that layout for that year. So like here's 2018. We watched Christmas Chronicles. That's the year that came out. I always use my little Sprocket printer and print pictures. My mom and I made gnomes that year. We always do a Christmas project. We haven't in the last few because the last few years I've been sick for different reasons at the holidays. So that's what I do, and this is how I document and keep memories from my Christmases. So what I'm going to do now is to take some of those fun things that were sent to me in that holiday box and start a layout for 2023 Christmas. I love this tissue paper that was in the box that wrapped up all the items. It's in gold, and there's all these pretty things like pine cones and birds and holly, Christmas holly. So I think this would be really fun to collage with. So I'm going to use a piece of that. And then a lot of the other things, including the rubber stamps. I love that Santa sleigh. That's really cute. So I'm going to just play around and I'll just show you what I do. Just to give you an idea of how to use those products, if you were interested in purchasing that box that has the holiday themes, you can maybe get some ideas of, well, what can I do with all the stuff that they sent? And maybe my ideas are maybe a little bit different than other people's ideas who have already shown the box of goodies. So let's get started and have some fun, and I'll show you what I create. I love to make pages that are tip-out pages where I can journal on the back, and then it's got something pretty on the front that I can add to a page. It kind of extends that layout. So I'm going to make a tip-out, and I'm just using some matte gel medium. This is the Crafter's Workshop brush, and I'm going to choose some of this really cool paper here. So I'm going to start by tearing around this bird. I love how the how the printing is actually copper. It looks gold, but in the light, it's really a coppery color. It's really pretty. I think it'll be kind of nifty. So I'm going to just roughly tear this out. And I'm going to use matte gel medium to put it down on the page. I don't know if they intended it for that purpose or just thought it'd be pretty. And I'm just going to put a layer of matte gel medium and put this bird down. And it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. Texture is kind of cool, so I'm kind of scrunching and making some texture too. I like that. Okay, so really simple. I've added that beautiful copper bird to my little piece of paper, and I'm going to let that totally dry before adding the next layer. Next, I'm going to add the cute little pine cones and do the same thing. Matte gel medium and put the pine cones down and then go over the top. So I'm just kind of layering, adding little elements. And now some holly. And this is all from that pretty tissue paper that was in the box. And this holly was along the edge, so it'd be perfect along this bottom edge. It was just too pretty not to use that beautiful packaging paper. Now I'm going to put that aside and let it dry because it needs to dry really well. So now I'm going to do, I think, a little bit of stamping. So they gave me 2 ink pads. One is in a really, really deep red and one is in like a deep, deep, deep forest pine green. And this beautiful stamp block. I love the edges. I'm going to use the edges as well. And I think I'm going to stamp that Christmas tree. And the inks are pigment inks. So the pigment inks, you would need to use a heat tool to dry them after, or use embossing powder because the pigment ink stays wet. A dye ink dries right away. A pigment ink stays wet. I'm going to use a clear embossing powder because I'm using green ink. So I'm going to ink this up really well. Stamp it, add the embossing powder over it, and then I'm going to use my heat tool to melt that embossing powder. You just want to make sure that you get a really good amount of ink. Cover it really well with ink so you get a good image. And I'm just using a scrap piece of cardstock because I'm going to actually tear this tree out. So I'm going to stamp it. And then add embossing powder to it. And I always use my little tidy tray to shake it off. And so see how it's covered in the embossing powder? You can hardly see the ink. And then when it melts, this is what it looks like. So now you can really see the image well. I didn't stamp it quite too well there, but I don't care because it's a Christmas tree. I can cover that up. But look at the pretty embossing powder over that nice ink that they sent. And then I just use my tidy tray to pour what's left of my powder back into my little package here. And now I'm going to decorate this cute tree. So I'm going to use some watercolor paints to paint the little ornaments and a water brush. And just pick up a little paint and come in here and add some color to the balls on the tree. I'm going to blend them out. And I'm just using watercolor paint. You could use any watercolor paints. I know that they carry watercolor paints as well. I haven't tried them yet. I'm going to maybe add a little bit of green back into the tree with my watercolor paints, just to really brighten it up. So where there's a space, add a little bit more green. I love that, looks cute. And in the acrylic pen set that they gave me, I think I'm going to use the gold or maybe the silver. I think gold, to try out the acrylic pens. So you just want to shake it, prime it till the ink comes down. Let me zoom in a little bit better here. And then I'm going to go in here with this and add some gold and make that tinsel gold using their gold paint pen. And I'm kind of scribbling it, but that's because I want it to look like tinsel. I don't want it to be perfect. So there's gold. There's the gold paint. Cute. Now you could use alcohol markers. You could use anything to color your little ornaments on the tree. I love to use packaging. This was the packaging that went with the snowflake. There's little die cuts set, and they've got iridescent snowflakes, and this was the packaging cover, and I'm going to cut out and use that little gold snowflake at the top of the tree. So I'm going to just take scissors and trim that. Nothing goes to waste, not even the packaging, because I just love finding ways to use it in my art. Now I think I'm going to use a Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 crayon and a water brush to add some background color around the tree. I am going to tear this tree out, but I'm going to just tip off the crayon like this with my water brush, pick up some blue, and go around this tree and add some color to that background. And I'll come back when I'm done. So that's how that looks. I really like that. It's kind of fun. Here's my little cut out piece from that piece of plastic. I'm going to put that at the top of the tree, and I'm going to take a paper piercer and I'm going to poke through my paper and through that plastic piece to make a little hole. And then I'm going to add a brad. I have a little tiny brad that looks like a star that I got years ago at a scrapbook convention. And there's that cute shiny piece that came from packaging, and it tops my tree. Now I'm just going to tear this out. So I'm going to tear towards me and just tear around my little tree. What a cute piece this is going to be in my Christmas book. And I think I'm going to distress the edges with distress ink. So I'm going to take some Faded Jeans distress ink and a little soft brush and go around this edge. And distress where I tore it. Then I'm going to pick up my ink and tip the edges of those torn little pieces just here and there to frame it. And I think I'm going to add some more glitter and things to it too. It's just going to be an element that's going to get added to my layout this year. But what a cute, that's a cute stamp. I love the stamp and the ink that was provided in that pack. So I added the words Christmas 2023 and a little bit of bling, and that's that cute stamp from the Grabie set and their ink. So their pure palette ink, and that makes an adorable Christmas tree to add to my layout this year. They also gave me this cute package of stickers. These are bronze stickers, and so they're sparkly with bronze, and they're clear, and this one had a really fun bow, so I think I'm going to use that one on the tree just to jazz it up and use one of their cute little stickers. Oh, it's cute. The stuff included in this is so cute. Add that sticker, and I think I'm going to add this sticker of some gifts at the bottom. So I'm going to just stick that right down here like it's gifts under the tree. So I found a great spot in my Christmas journal for where to add my little tree that I made. So what I'm going to do is just use some art glitter glue and glue this into place onto the page. And that'll be the title for Christmas 2023. And I've got some places to journal. So here that is glued into my book. It's cute and it makes a beautiful something to look at with lots of sparklies and fun things for Christmas 2023. And my first journal entry for this holiday is, this holiday started with a fun box of Christmas themed art supplies by Grabie. They asked me to do a collaboration. What a great way to start the holidays with new things to create with. So that is going to start my page right there. Next, I chose these cute papers. This one is kind of a gray blue, and it goes with the blues in the tree. And this is the 12 Days of Christmas themed paper, which I just think is so cute. It's too wide to go in my page, but that's quite all right. I think what I'm going to do there is to just make a little fold. I'll fold it in this way, like this. And then I'll do a fold here as well. Or I may just cut that decorative. In fact, I think I'm going to cut that edge decorative and have a fold right here that can lift up and have writing on it here to journal behind it. And it's also going to be able to be journaled all in here behind. So what I'm going to do with the blue paper is, where it's too short at the top and bottom, is put a strip up at top and bottom to hide those white spots. So I tore that paper so I'd have a rough edge. I love my rough edges. And what I'm going to do is just glue one at the top and one at the bottom here with some glue stick. Just glue them into place. And then I can cut off the excess. And then I'm going to glue the other one up at the top. This 12 Days of Christmas paper they sent is just so beautiful. And look what it looks like edged. Oh, love it. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. So I'm going to take some Distress ink. I'm using Vintage Photo. And I'm just going to antique those edges just slightly. Just a little bit. I like the color they are, but it's always pretty to just add that tiny touch of antiquing. And then on the back side as well, because this is going to be the side that you see for journaling, and so it just looks nicer than white. I'm going to just make it a little bit antiqued. It'll look prettier for when I do my journaling on the page. So I'm just going around all the edges and kind of buffing it up into the page a little bit. And then when I do my journaling, it'll be so pretty. And I think I'll probably use brown ink to journal with instead of black. That'll really look nice too. I like having a Christmas journal to play in every year. Just do a simple 2-page layout with fun things about the holiday and making it pretty, doing a little art. That border punch made these beautiful little strips of that paper, and I'm going to add those as well here and here just to tie that in and bring it across to the other side. Never waste anything. So this is what's going to go on here, and I'm going to tip it in with some washi tape down this little center line here, and so see how pretty that looks. And I think I need to do a little bit of inking around here too, but what a pretty spot to journal about this year. I love it. This paper is just so pretty. So that's how that turned out. I used that little strips down here to add some just cute little elements. I put the strip across here and across here to the holly, just to tie it in with this paper. It came from this paper. This gives you a cute little tip in to write down that. I love that. And then this is what this looks like for journaling. And I tipped it in just with some washi tape. So what a cute, this is going to be a cute layout for this year. And now I'm going to do something with that card that I created. Now here's that collage card that I started. And what I'm going to do is make a cute tip in on this side. That's going to be like this. And I know it's not a partridge in a pear tree, but it's still cute, and I think it's still going to be a cute tip out, and it adds more journaling space. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to trim around it. And I'm just going to leave a little bit of a space, not trimming right up to the bird, but just close to the bird. And I think I'll trim around this too. Just to make some interest. So it's not just a square tip in. I like that. That'll be a fun place to add some journaling too. I've got lots to journal about this year. Okay, that's cute. I like it. And then this is going to be the tip-in part. So that's how that turned out. And that's going to go here on this side, like this. And I love that this has got the copper parts to it because of it being printed with copper on the on the tissue paper, but I want to add some pops of color. So I think I'm going to use alcohol markers and maybe some Caran d'Ache Neocolor too, to just color this a little bit and add some interest and color to it. So I'm going in with paint pen now, and I'm just adding little highlights. So I added highlights to the berries, and now I'm adding highlights to the pine cones. I added a little white highlight to the bird's eye. And so far, I'm loving these paint pens. I'm a paint pen connoisseur. They are my favorite, one of my favorite art supplies besides Neocolors and colored pencils. I think paint pens would be right up there with them. And I've tried a lot of the expensive brands like Molotow and Montana, and I like Posca, but I'll tell you what, these are pretty darn awesome. I like them a lot. I would recommend them highly. So they're working great to just come back in here and add those little touches. And look how that just changes the image and makes it really pop off the page. So here's my cute little collage tip-in with the bird and pine cones and holly from the packaging material, the tissue paper that was printed. Made it into a cute tip-in that's going to have more journaling and a picture of my Christmas tree over here. Made this cute tree using the stamps and the stickers. Used the cute paper, the 12 Days of Christmas paper, to make a journaling spot. And that's my layout using Grabie stuff for this year. I really like it. And I always like to add a picture into my layouts. And I use my little sprocket printer. So this is what the pictures look like. They're tiny little pictures that are just like sticker-sized pictures. You take pictures with your camera or your iPhone, your iPad, doesn't matter. And then you use the Sprocket app and the little Sprocket printer to print out these cute sticker pictures to add to your layouts. So this layout's going to obviously have some, but it'll be later on after Christmas and after we take some pictures, some family pictures, and finish out our holiday. So I'll put the link in the description box below if you want to check out what a sprocket is, because it's pretty cool. I got it from my brother a couple of years ago as a gift, and it's been used quite a bit in a lot of my journals. So that I'll add a link to that and to the Grabie Christmas box, and then the products, that'll show the products that I used here in this layout. So I hope you're enjoying this. I'm having fun playing around with their products, trying them out. I'm loving the paint pens. The Christmas stuff is just darling. It made a really cute layout for this year. So hope this gave you an idea, and maybe an idea of how to keep a journal for Christmas and use an altered book, make a junk journal, and make it your Christmas journal. So thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful holiday. Thank you all for checking in on me. I've been having a little bit of some issues with my my back and stuff, my typical stuff, but everybody checks in. I'm so happy to have such great internet friends that keep tabs on me, and I'll be back soon. And again, I'm still working on the Julie nutting, and that's quite a big video, so that'll be coming up pretty quick here. Hopefully in the next week or so. I keep saying that, but I'm working on it, I promise. And that'll be starting out our new year with some fun, making another Julie nutting paper doll altered book. So thanks for stopping by, and have a blessed holidays, everyone. And go make some art, because art soothes the heart. There's also a coupon code, so if you want to purchase any of the products from Grabie, there's a code that's just especially for my viewers that will give you a discount on their products. So check that out in the description box.